It is my pleasure to see you, to meet many good friends from different countries. So I have prepared some presentation about the information from Armenian army. You know that we had a war here just several days ago. So we have analyzed last issues, last statements, and the situation in the media and in the society. I must say that in early 19th of former century, I was working as an officer, public affairs officer in the Ministry of Defense of Armenia, in the Department of Information and Propaganda. And I was one of the officers who was preparing media monitoring and some advices to the minister how to work with media and how to create the coverage of military issues. So just want to also introduce me. I'm editor-in-chief and one of the co-founders of MediaMax Media Company, which has 7 online sites at the moment, also media monitoring service and news agency. And but also I'm a teacher in Yerevan State University and Slavonic University of Armenia, and I am associated professor, and my PhD work was on information wars. So this is my special topic. So I want to have some short introduction for you, and when I will be ready to answer your questions if you have some. Also, I want to say sorry if my English is not very good, because though I'm editing news in English and write letters, but we have very few practice in English here, so maybe my speaking English is not very good for you, so I'm sorry. Sometimes I will use some Russian words when I will not find appropriate word in English. Also, I see here among the participants Vladimir Danilyuk from Lutsk. I want to pass my special greetings. He is not only my colleague, but he is one of the guys we play football. We have a journalist football team of Armenia, and we usually play to our guys from different countries. And Vladimir from Lutsk, we have very good team. We have come 2 years ago here, and it was pleasure to meet them, and also we play in different other countries, so it is very good to see him among the participants. So let's go to the presentation.
This was a nice introduction, though. Good. It's great that you know each other and that you also have a soccer team.
So coverage of the army topics in the Armenian media. I have analyzed, especially for you, how it was 25 years ago and how it is now. Let's go. So the situation when I was serving in the army was very different when now. It was the finish. It was the time when the first Karabakh war was just finished, so we had a very closed information system especially about the army, because people were afraid to speak about what's going on in the military structures in the army, because they were afraid that it will harm the military system and there can be a new war. So the information system was very closed and you couldn't get information from our structures, only from Ministry of Defense of Armenia, and there were several officers who could give you information. In our cases, you cannot get any information about anything that could say something about the army. Then another one, it was the information from official sources only. Especially it was the Department of Information and Propaganda of Armenia. There was strict media control, so if some newspaper, there were only 2 TV channels and both were, of course, state, and some newspapers, but if they write something wrong, or for example something not appropriate for the ministry, the editor or journalist could have problems. There was very famous case when some journalist wrote the disinformation about lost positions during the army during the war, and at night some people came, take him, closed his eyes, and several hours ago he found himself at the military positions, and military said, now see how we lost these positions, and they have left him there and come back, and he had to come by himself. But it was just an example how militaries worked with journalists or with editors that time. So there was some military censorship. There was a small department of people who were monitoring the media. And though I was an editor and I also was military, but we also have watched the programs which I prepared for the television and also my articles. And only after they put their sign to the paper, this program went to the broadcasting. So it was rather hard. We have many conflicts, well, not conflict, but discussions with them, because sometimes we can make problem with one word or one sentence. And if you ever worked in TV, you must know how it is hard to change one sentence or to shorten. But in 19th, it was much more harder. So there were clear terms of accreditation and in the ministry. So only some people could get it, not many people. And unfortunately, we have a lack of trust to military information, because we had to say much disinformation. We had to say many positive news, and we have to have not to say the not positive news, how to say, I don't know, because we were afraid of panics, especially in military, in the army, so we couldn't say all the information. So I remember I was also, have graduated from the Department of Journalism also in early 19th, so before I went to army. And I remember my classmates were calling, most of them are now directors or editors of the media, were calling me, they asked me how I'm feeling, and many questions. And when we asked, is there anything interesting for us to cover in the army? And we always answered nothing. Because our minister told us that we cannot say the information to the public about accidents, about self-killings and other problems. So we didn't discuss this problems, because we were afraid that our enemy will know that we have some problems, and we will begin a new war. On the next slide. So the situation in from 2000 was a little bit different. We begin to open the information system about problems in the army, about corruption, about other problems. Though the information was again from mainly from the official sources, but we have already have some media experts who could explain or who could describe some problems in the army, and it was half open system. So you could speak about the army, you can write the articles, it was not prohibited, but to enter some military units, you should have special accreditation, etc., etc. So, but the media control became lighter when it was earlier. So you could write the articles, you could describe the situation. Some expert can discuss the problems. There was no military censorship. So people begin to write the news from army. Other officials also could say what's going on and explain something. The coverage rules were not very clear, so there were no explanation from Ministry of Defense what you should cover, what you can cover in the military positions, in military units, and what you especially cannot do, because and that's why there were many problems. The coverage mainly was again positive, so we have very good army, we have very good guys, and the accreditation became open, so everybody from Armenia and other countries could get accreditation and go to the border, also to Nagorno-Karabakh. I think with the loss of trust to military information, it was partly because many people begin to speak about the problems in the army, and when at 2010 there was a big accident at the border when Azerbaijani soldier came to the to Armenian positions and killed 4 soldiers, Armenian, and when he was killed, and when it was very big surprise, and at first our ministry tried to not to speak about this loudly, but as soon as there were also already social media and Facebook already, and also bloggers and people from that district have write about it in their blogs and at their pages, and Ministry of Defense begin to understand that if you have social media in the country, if you have people who can write to Facebook, to Twitter, to other social media, you cannot just say that nothing happened, you cannot speak about, because there are always some alternative sources of information who speak about it, and when you have to also do, you will stay in very big situation to explain why you were lying. So after 2010, the information system became quite open. Everybody could speak about the problems in the army. Everybody could criticize militaries. Everybody could speak about the lack of information about the problems. So we journalists begin to get information not only from official sources, but also from social media, from the soldiers who are serving, and not only soldiers, but also from officers. So many pictures in the social media, especially Facebook, from the soldiers who are making selfies, gossips, and local people who live near the military units also begin commenting everything what's going on. So there was no media control at all. Everyone can discuss the problems, not only experts, but especially not experts, because experts understand what they can discuss, what not. But no censorship at all, no coverage rules and ethics, and accreditation is not needed at all. Only if you are from the television and you want to go to the first line, to front, you need some paper from Ministry of Defense. In other cases, you can travel, you can make photo, you can make film, everything you want it. And there was also some civil society control to the army, some committees and organizations who of the civil rights, who were traveling to different units, especially if there are some critics to with officers, personnel, and everybody could cover it, especially in their pages, and it could be republished in some news agencies or news sites. So when when this second war in Nagorno-Karabakh have begun, we had this situation, which you can see at your monitors. And now what happened now, when the war is over, we hope, we analyzed and we see that now, after this war, sorry, I'm trying. Okay. Now the lessons of this war, I hope also my colleagues from Ministry of Defense understood that the information, official information, must not be only positive. Why? Because at the moment when Prime Minister told that he is ready to sign the capitulation, most of the people were quite sure that we are winning. It was because of that positive information that we got from the front, and we got it from official, so I mean military officials. So the level was very high, so that we are winning, and we were not waiting. Can I ask you to turn off your microphone, dear friend?
Yes, there's a technical problem.
Thank you. So now we, at the moment, as a journalist and analyzer, I can say that we also have absence of trust to information from military sources now when we official press releases or something else. Of course, there is a lack of trust. People don't believe to politics. They don't believe to militaries. So now we have this problem because everything that was built in communication with society and between society and army, now we must rebuild because everything in the ruins. People don't believe already our officials, and it is very, very bad. Information from official sources, people think that it is not reliable. They cannot who to believe, and this is also a problem because there are many questions about lost soldiers, about lost territories, about what will be the soldiers who are still where, because they don't know, their future is unclear, and militaries also don't have answers to these questions, which is also very bad position. The provided information during war was not synchronized. So we had in Armenia and Artsakh, in Nagorno-Karabakh, we had many speakers, and sometimes we were speaking quite different things, not synchronized, and also in Artsakh, in Armenia, we have only 1 or 2 speakers from Ministry of Defense. In Nagorno-Karabakh, there were several, and there was press secretaries or press services of different state organizations, which were sending press releases and putting it on the Facebook in different hours, so you cannot understand if it happened once or several times. So the way we work not synchronized, and especially it is not synchronized between military services and civil services. Only ombudsman's offices in Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh were working very good. They made their own work and they coordinated the work between each other. So I can say that they were rather good. And it is now clear that the state information machine was not ready for long-term war and operations. So after 2 weeks of war, we already lost the control on situation and begin to lie, because the situation was worse and worse. And to avoid the panics, we had to begin to say that everything is perfect, and etc., etc. Also, the problem that no military expert community was formed in Armenia, but everybody who wanted, who could discuss with, everybody can go to television and speak about the war. Everybody could advise to militaries how to shoot, how to go, how to make the war. So it was very funny, of course funny, not funny, but we just understood that during 30 years of independence, we have no military expert community who could describe with or that decision of government or army. So military information was few, unclear, only very short videos, some short videos, but they were broadcasted for many times, so you cannot already understand, is it new video or is it the old video which they presented again. So if you monitor foreign TV channels, you can see mostly videos by Azerbaijani side. Most of the videos from Azerbaijani side. From Armenian side, we were rather few. And as you can understand, a huge chasm between official information and revealed truth was found by the population. So we understood that we didn't get reliable information from official sources, and that's why many people couldn't believe that how it happened. They couldn't believe that we have lost so many guys. They couldn't believe that we have lost so much territories and, of course, partly sovereignty. So as a result, we have, at this moment, we have ruined state information system. So this government or next, I don't know, must begin with trustworthiness, to begin trustworthiness from the zero or even minus. So it will be very hard work for the next several years, because experts, media experts, my colleagues, journalists, people who I speak, my students, we are not ready to believe everything that government says, and because now we see that there is other truth which we didn't know, or we didn't want it to see, but now we are in our reality when it was supposed. So I think the situation now is in this colors. So I thank you for your attention. I hope it was not very long. And now I'm ready to answer your questions if you have some.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Alaverdyan.